Denver Public Schools faced with crises at 3 high schools with a common denominator: questions about decisions made by school leaders. The story behind a video of Senator Gardner at the Capitol going viral tonight. A Denver Bronco upset with coverage of their losing streak has a question about journalists. Well, this will be good. A historical marker remembers one time when a husband was right.
Our marshal at the time came over the radio, and all you hear is, "We have a woman in the lake."
And a sign that something lost from old Denver is being brought back to life. Next. Colorado's largest school district is facing questions for the 3rd time in 2 months about the behavior of Denver public school administrators. From east to south to manual, different issues. The common question: what is going on at DPS these days? Here's our Marshall Zellinger.
Denver Public Schools has put 9 on leave since August. After a reported groping at South High School, Principal Jen Hansen, Student Advisor Lynette Lucero, School Psychologist Barbara Downing, and Assistant Superintendent Sean Precious are on paid leave. That groping is now being investigated, but because the Denver DA's office has a conflict of interest, the case is now in the hands of the 18th Judicial District in Arapahoe County. Investigators there will determine whether or not any of these 4 failed to report abuse or neglect as required under the state's mandatory reporting laws. The DA will also investigate the groping allegations. At East High School in August, Coach Ozell Williams, Principal Andy Mendelsberg, Athletic Director Lisa Porter, Assistant Coach Mariah Cladis, and Deputy Attorney Michael Hickman were all put on leave and their decision-making questioned after 9 News broke the story and showed the video of cheerleaders being forced into splits. Ultimately, Williams was fired, Mendelsberg retired, and Porter resigned. Cladis, who was a volunteer coach, was cleared and told she'd have to reapply for her position. And Hickman, as well as 5 assistant principals, were disciplined, but we were never told how. The other incident where an administrator's decisions were questioned, but no one was disciplined, was last month at Manual High School, after Principal Nick Dawkins sent out a letter accusing the Weld Central High School football team of displaying a Confederate flag during the game. After days of coverage, DPS retracted his claim, but defended Dawkins as a principal. We double-checked with DPS about South High School tonight. No one else is on leave, and a new letter is being sent to parents as a result of the coverage of why the 4 administrators are on leave. And Kyle, I asked DPS a question today that I've really never had to think to ask before. I asked, how many total employees and administrators do you have on leave? So I hope to get that answer soon.
All right. And we don't want to cherry pick incidents and say that they're connected. There is that common thread through all these things, which is decision making by people in charge of schools and student safety. All right. Thank you, Marshall. And late today, Denver Public Schools acknowledged bungling yet another incident involving student safety and communication with parents. DPS had already apologized to parents at Denver Discovery School last week for delayed notification of a threatening list that was found there. Parents at Swigert International, which shares that campus with Discovery, came to us and asked why they had to find out about this threat from 9 News. DPS now acknowledges that Swigert parents should have been notified directly by the district about the threat. DPS apologized and pledged joint communication on safety issues in the future. We will forgive you if you did not realize that there was a school board election in Denver in 2 weeks, or did not know there was a school board, judging by their silence on these issues. We reached out to the 7 current school board members, the superintendent's bosses. We heard back from one, Rosemary Rodriguez, who is leaving the school board after this election. She told us that she believes that the superintendent handled the East High situation appropriately, but added that all these decisions involve human beings, and it's tough to watch. Denver City Council President is cool with criticism, not so much with racism. So rather than respond privately to a recent email he received, Councilman Albus Brooks decided he'd bring it out into the light.
Why has the entire continent of Africa failed? Why does your kind fall with regularity? No inventions, you're lazy, you're dumb, etc. I wonder if they were sitting at a stop sign when they were looking and wondering about no black inventions, which the stop sign was invented by an African American. What was your ACT score? A 12? No, I took the SAT. Blacks at the bottom, then Mexicans. Google it. Everything he said was false, so why would I Google that? I'm deeply disturbed, but not shocked. I receive racist and emails like this all the time. His email didn't even deserve a response. It deserved to be called out. I need to use this to expose kind of the racism that's going on. You know, this White supremacy is real. It happens to us as folks of color who are in this role. At the end of the day, love is going to beat hate. And I'm going to be about love, but I'm also going to be about calling things out for what it is.
Brooks says the only truly shocking part of that email is that there are still people shocked by the fact that folks believe that. If Denver's police chief wondered if the rank and file have confidence in his leadership, well, there's no doubt now that the answer is no. Denver police unions passed a no confidence vote for Police Chief Robert White, the first in the union's history. Chief said in a statement, "I understand that being chief can come with scrutiny from those who may disagree with decisions being made or fully understand the aspects of the position. DPD is a great department," he wrote, "but we always must find ways to be a better agency." The Colorado Republican Party says the tickets to see Vice President Mike Pence on Thursday sold briskly down the stretch. You'll recall that prices were cut nearly in half when those tickets weren't selling. The state GOP said that it was popular demand, which led to a spirited discussion of what exactly the term popular demand means. Ticket sales ended today at 5 p.m. We're still waiting to hear if the party will tell us just how many tickets sold, or better yet, just agree to let journalists in to see the crowd and to hear the vice president's message to Colorado. Boy, tough day for Colorado's Republican Senator Cory Gardner. He runs the NRSC, which is in charge of getting Republicans elected and reelected to the Senate. That will likely be harder in Arizona, with Jeff Flake's announcement today that he will not seek re-election. Flake said his moderate politics are no longer welcome in the Republican Party of Donald Trump. And then, to add insult to insult, Gardner was being driven away from the Capitol by a staffer when this happened.
They pull a little too close to Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill. I'm told Gardner joked out his window, "I'd never hit you, Claire," and she responds with a classic,
"Probably the only shot you got to take me out."
It hurts because it's true.
That's a tough way to end your day. Hey, is the A-line working? The train to the plane. We are happy to tell you, yes, working like a charm today. And we should note the A-line is coming off its most reliable month of service yet. RTD says that 97% of the weekday A-line trips were on schedule in September. On schedule means no more than 5 minutes late. Now, that number does not include canceled trains, but the on-time number, 97.1%. 97.1 is a significant improvement from last September's 86.9%. So go, little A-line, go.
Our next question comes from a man named Aqib Talib. That sounds familiar. He tweeted, "When doing good, the media praises you. When playing bad, they dog you out. What an easy job. How much do they get paid?"
Thank you for asking, Mr. Talib. According to the federal government's Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median salary for a journalist is $37,820. That would be Denver Broncos cornerback Aqib Talib, who's upset about the team's criticism in the media and their losing streak. I can't blame him, though, for taking a shot at reporters. Good portion of America has shown it will embrace a successful multimillionaire who seeks to distract from his struggles by blaming the media, despite the fact that the vast majority of journalists are honest people who serve the communities they live in and don't make a ton of money doing it. And perhaps this is such a good strategy that fans and supporters will excuse failing to deliver on goals in return for the satisfaction of scapegoating. Actually, I don't think Broncos fans would be satisfied with trading wins for insults at the end of the season. We're talking about football, right?
What's the cliche line? The weather roller coaster? But seriously, though, hold on. Near 80 tomorrow, 40s to close the week. And how many layers the kids need on Halloween for their Moana costumes? No, we're not going to get into that mess. We will wade into a husband and wife debate that ended with a historical marker.
Decided to pull around, and unfortunately, she got confused about the gas and the brake.
And a familiar face on the facts.
They've been there so long, they're just part of Colfax.
He's back to his former glory. Next.
close of a beautiful day over downtown Denver. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. Sunshine and 60s today. We'll see that number go up 15 to 20 degrees tomorrow ahead of a cold front that will bring rain and snow to us on Thursday. It is a fast-moving system, and the snow will fly in the high country probably as early as tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, another chilly night, not as cold as this morning. The low at DIA was 24. We'll bottom out in the mid-40s tonight, top out near 80 tomorrow, so record high temperatures are possible, but only for one day. Clear, calm, and quiet this evening. Who doesn't love that? And tomorrow we're hanging on to fall for one more day with the warm weather trend that will only last 24 hours because we're going to round out the week with temperatures in the 40s, lows in the 20s, less than an inch of accumulation, a lot of melting due to the warm surface temperatures with our day tomorrow. A drying trend as we head into the weekend, but now there's a chance for rain and snow on Halloween. All of a sudden that forecast looks a little cold and a little bit scary. We'll get you through the Thursday storm, and then we'll break down that Halloween storm, Kyle, coming up.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. Quick warning. This next story may be somewhat uncomfortable for people who are used to the popular depiction these days of husbands and dads as bumbling fools. In the real world, they're not always on the wrong end of everything. On rare occasion, men are right. Our Noel Brennan spotted a sign of just how rare.
For a serious game,
that's a little short of 300.
Golf still attracts
we're old turds.
a sense of humor.
Whatever he said.
There it is.
Oh yeah, there it is.
If it's Tuesday at Saddleback Golf Club, Gib and Jack will be hacking and cracking jokes.
I play military golf. I go left, right, left, right.
It's a good thing their home course
We're different.
shares a taste for comedy.
You know, if 1 out of 4 get a laugh out of it, that kind of really builds into what we do around here.
The historical marker at hole 4 is hard to miss.
On this exact spot, in the afternoon of August 5th, 2017, a marital dispute was won by the husband. At 12:58, he told his wife she shouldn't drive the golf cart because she's a horrible driver. 5 minutes later, she accidentally drove cart number 42 into our lake.
True story. Josh Clay was there.
Our marshal at the time came over the radio, and all you hear is, "We have a woman in the lake." Well, we have a golf cart in the lake.
We don't burn it in the lake yet.
I think they both lost their cell phones. They both lost their wallets. They lost everything in this tragedy.
Cart number 42 was saved.
Yeah, I personally went into the lake to get the cart out. It was wet.
We don't know about the marriage.
Boy, wouldn't it be nice to commemorate that time that husband told his wife something and he was actually right about it?
I think it's wonderful they got the monument for that.
A monument to history.
Whoops, double hit.
And comedy on the course.
Nothing to this game.
Did you get that?
For next, I'm Noel Brennan.
Cart 42 is back in service after replacing the engine, part of the transmission, and the battery. Mystery husband and wife, we're told, are welcome back at that course anytime. You're also welcome here on this program if you ever want to sit down and tell us your version of what sounds like an epic story.
Bringing life to old neon signs on Colfax. This land is your land, and the Park Service considers taking more of your money to visit it. And it's not the most important crime solved this week, but it should not escape our notice. Next.
The neon signs that stand out as slices of old Denver were once considered a nuisance. In 1971, Denver banned animated neon signs, trying to reduce visual clutter. Well, there's new appreciation of those signs as not so ancient art. So if the city approves, 2 signs on East Colfax at Satire Lounge and Pete's Kitchen will soon come back to life.
Satire and the kitchen both are like go-to places. I went to East High School, so I've grown up with those signs.
Well, you know, that's very unusual signs, both of them.
They're special, and they're just part of these buildings. They've been there so long, they're just part of Colfax. We would like other people to enjoy them the way we did.
It would be nice to have the animation, flip and show the pancake move.
Gordon's sign is as excited as we are about it.
Pete and Liz, they contacted us. They said, hey, we'd like to have it articulate again.
I remember when the pancakes were flipping you know.
Well, the pancake man at the kitchen flipped his pancakes. The sign here at the Satire has a big arrow on it that would go up and down.
In the 1970s, they stopped allowing it. It was a citywide ordinance in Denver.
When the law came into effect, we had to shut them both down.
They didn't want drivers distracted, and so they took that away.
No more moving signs.
And now they're, again, allowing that to happen in the sign.
We're excited, really excited.
So what will happen is this pancake will light up and then go off, then this pancake will light, then this pancake will light, and then this pancake will light. So you'll see the movement of the pancake flipping. And
a lot of our customers, we've mentioned it to a couple people, and they can't believe it. They said, really, after all these years, even with them being static, people still stop and take pictures of them. So hopefully now this will be just another step forward.
The owners say they've applied for a variance for both those signs. City says it will most likely be granted. The hope is to get them up and running by December, which would mark Satire Lounge's 55th year in business. Rocky Mountain National Park is so popular, it's being trampled and its infrastructure worn bare. So badly that the National Park Service is considering raising fees during peak season to $70 a car. It's $20 now. The money would help fund improvements for roads, bridges, campgrounds, bathrooms, and such. For reference, an annual park pass for one park, $75. A pass for all federal lands for a year, $80. The Park Service's public comment period on this started today. Here's my comment. Buy the annual park pass if you can. Support our beautiful public spaces. May I make a recommendation? This is normally where we point you towards someone else's work, but I wanted to make sure that you caught a story that aired on 9 News late last night. Our reporter Katie Eastman got to meet the man who holds the highest office in Denver, not the mayor, no offense, Mr. Hancock, Rudy Marquez. He operates the tallest crane in the city. Katie climbed up for a view of his view. Rudy's been running cranes building Denver since 1991. In case you're curious, he's been hit by lightning in the crane twice. The video from up top is absolutely unbelievable, and not all of it will turn your stomach if you're not a fan of heights. It's fine. You'll enjoy it. Get a new perspective. There's a link on the next Facebook page. A Colorado Rocky's going to get some FaceTime during the World Series. We are highlighting a public servant caught doing the right thing, and your feedback on the issue of prejudice next. This next story isn't about a police officer in trouble, some nurse who got caught cheating, a nurse stealing drugs. Now, this next story is about a public servant doing the right thing, like 99% of them do every single day and never make the news. They are the good ones, and they're almost all good ones. Officer Blazewicks from Westminster PD was standing next to her a few weeks ago, saw a little girl's bike had been stolen out of her front yard. Well, this week she found that bike and then was able to go back and find the family. The young girl's dad told the officer it wasn't really the missing bike that upset his daughter, it was the bell on the bike. The bell was given to her by her grandmother, who passed away 3 years ago this Sunday. The bell meant a whole lot more than the bike. Now the little girl has it back. She says she's going to take it off the bike, make sure it always stays safe. Officer Blazewicks, good one. Or almost all good ones. Rocky center field Charlie Blackmon's had a big day today. Visited the New York Stock Exchange, posted on Instagram, was just conquering the capital markets on my lunch break at the New York Stock Exchange. The jacket and the beard are a great combo. Hey, and we've learned that Blackmon's going to join ESPN's coverage of the World Series. Get the Rockies a little love, keep people interested. He's going to be on 4 shows over the next 2 days, including some of their coverage on SportsCenter. Feedback tonight on City Councilman Albus Brooks directly taking on a racist writer. Scarlett writes, yes, this exists, whether we would prefer to see it or hear it. Mr. Brooks, I applaud you for taking the high road while also taking a moment to educate and remind us of an ugliness that some of us are lucky enough to think we can pretend isn't there. Celeste Munoz has never been able to pretend that. She writes, I'm 63. In my teen years, we thought all the prejudice crap would be over by now. So sad that it's not. It's not, but we'll keep talking about it. That should help. See you next time.